Oh, this is gonna be fun.
It better be.
It'll be good. Be nice.
We don't catch up.
Oh, I thank you. Welcome everybody to the Chop It Up with Tony podcast. I thank y'all for joining us today here at the Dynasty Barbershop. So if you guys need your haircuts, cuts, and stuff like that, go on Booksy. Make sure you guys can find Dynasty Barbershop here in Antioch. Get your cuts all day, every day. All right. But we're gonna get started with the show. I'd like to welcome my special guest, good friend of mine for almost 10 years, give or take.
Yeah.
12 years now, almost.
Just about.
Yeah, no. Yeah, just about. B. Say
What's
hi to
up?
everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Really good. Glad to have you come on board, man. It's been a long journey, of course, doing the podcast show for myself.
Absolutely.
You'll be my third guest I think I've had so far. So much appreciated for you coming on by, making the time.
Absolutely, man.
That's
I got
nice.
you.
Nice. Now I did want to bring you on too because some special news came by a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Graduated, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
How was the journey? Well, if you want to share with everybody what you graduated from, be good.
So I'm graduating from being a dental hygienist or
Nice.
from dental hygiene school. I was in the program for about 2 years, went to school for 4 years, and I kid you not, it feels amazing
Good.
to have gone through it.
Yeah.
You know, it had its challenges for sure,
Right.
but I mean, it didn't break me. I'm still here and thankfully graduated, about 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah, that's good. How was that
Yeah.
part, that ceremony?
It was beautiful.
Was they actually have like a good ceremony type of deal, or was it mostly just, come on board the class, here's your certificate, there you go?
Nah, actually, it was a pretty good ceremony. We had a pinning ceremony on a Thursday,
Okay.
which is just the people in the dental hygiene program.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. You go up there, they talk about you, you get some awards and stuff like that.
Nice.
I actually won an award.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah,
that.
I won an award. And I was really happy about that because, to be honest, I didn't expect that.
No.
But it's nice to be recognized.
Yeah.
For all the hard work that you put in. So, yeah, no, I'm happy I got that.
I would have to give you the props on that part. The hard work, for sure, because like you said, we were co-workers and stuff like that from day one, and I think that was one of the things I acknowledged for sure of you because of the change in you. I know the beginning was, we were young, we're doing our thing,
Absolutely.
It is what it is,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But then once you kind of got your mindset was, this is what I'm going to do, this is my goal setting, I really have to acknowledge and give you your props on that, because I think seeing that part and the growth in you in that, and then also too making sure that this is my goals, I'm setting it, and I'm gonna, pretty much achieve it.
Yeah.
And it's been great. It's been a good thing to see from you, because I'm like, it's just, I know it's been a long journey for sure. Struggling a little bit.
It has. And I want to also say, though, I'm happy and proud of you, actually, too, because you're right. We started working together when we were really young.
Mm-hmm.
When I first met you, you had just recently married Chloe. And I was like, you had your babies on the way. And just seeing all of that, I was like, man, how could both of them handle all of this?
It was a lot.
And we're so young.
Extremely.
But, just seeing how things have evolved over the years,
mm-hmm.
seeing your baby's big now, wow, that's amazing. So, I mean, kudos to you too.
No,
we're all achieving
something,
different milestones.
Exactly. And it's good. And I think that's the big challenge, especially recently with a lot of people going through graduation. I think that was kind of, another key reason why I wanted to bring you on board was because it's like, share the story, but also to the process. Like, what was the process like from the beginning? Like, what made you choose this path particularly? Because I know my side, but sharing with the world, of course, it would be like, what was it? What was the choice behind it?
So I think the choice behind it really was, what do I want to do with my life?
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to achieve something greater than what I'm achieving now? Am I okay being comfortable where I'm at?
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, I think more so right around the pandemic, like this is not the end for me.
Yeah.
Like I have to keep going. I want something more than what I have now. And I mean, I already had my foot in the door with the dental field.
Mm-hmm.
So
experience was there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would hear it from the patients sometimes too. Why don't you go be a dentist? Like, why don't you go be a dentist? Why don't you go to school?
Right.
And, you hear that often enough, even from friends and stuff. And you're like, okay, well, you know what? Let's see. Let's try it out.
Yeah.
Let's try it out. Let's see what can come from it.
Yeah.
And it is scary because it's a change. And in the beginning, I would go to school part-time,
Mm-hmm.
got all my gen ed classes in and things like that.
Correct.
And thankfully, everything went well with that. And then just applying for the program itself.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that takes a good to get into the program, if I'm not mistaken, keeping the grades right. Because you didn't go to school for quite some time. even prior to that, right?
It had been, not gonna lie, it had been a decade.
See?
Yeah, it had been like a good 10 solid years since I've been to college. I tried college, I think, right when I got out of high school, and then it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And, you know, I went straight to work.
Mm-hmm.
And a few years had passed by, 10 years had passed by. And then I think I decided, okay, well, I had the right people in my corner at that time.
Yeah.
You know, when I decided to go back to school. So.
Yeah. I think that helps with the process of having the support system to kind of go through that, because the kids nowadays who kind of decide to go to college right afterwards after high school, it's like the choice of what they want to do may not be the actual path that they want to take,
right?
But it's the pressure from whatever they have that's going on to actually choose that, and then to finally realize at the end, or maybe before things are finished, it's like, but I want to try this instead. My passion feels this.
Yeah.
So do I really want, to do that? The encouragement that comes from the support staff helps that choice. And
absolutely.
The process. I think the process makes it smooth in that too as well, just because of like when you're going through it, and if you're struggling either with the class or let's say the teacher itself in general, it's like that support person will definitely, just give you that encouragement to keep pushing forward. And not to worry about it. Like we're short money. It's okay. I got this side or whatever case it be. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Was that ever like an issue financially during that time period at all? We're going through the school and stuff like that, because you had to quit in this.
Yeah.
You had to quit the county. So
full-time job.
Yeah.
So I think that played a big part in what I was doing, just because, like you said, I was working full time and I had my benefits and all of that. And you really have to consider, like, man, am I ready for this big change? It's like a 180.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a difference, and it did play a big part. I think it almost stopped me in a sense from wanting to move forward, from joining the program, because I did keep that in mind. Like, oh my God, my wife and I, we both work. Okay. And we were both bringing in the money to support our household.
Yeah.
And I was afraid of not having that anymore.
Yeah.
Not having that stability.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
The stability was a big part. But I had a dental hygienist that was working at the time. And, he was a good mentor. He kind of guided me towards going to school or going to the program, because I told him that. He's like, so what are your plans for the next year? I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to put it off for a year. I'm going to put it off for a year, save up some money, and then think about joining the program. He's like, nah, don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that, because if you do that, you're always going to use that. You're going to use your finances as a reason to not move forward. He's like, yeah, exactly. So he's like, just, it's not going to be easy. You might struggle a little bit, but if you and your partner are on the same page, you guys will pull through.
Yeah.
So, you should not put it on the back burner. He's like, just a word of advice. He's like, take it or don't take it. That's going to be completely up to you. And I'm glad that I took it.
Yeah. I think if I'm not mistaken too, I don't know. I know because of what we were going through at the county at the time, also afterwards, like you said, the pandemic kind of played a big picture, because it's like, here we are, the whole dental program itself got shut down. We couldn't see, no patients couldn't do nothing
at all. Right? Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, we had to get finances in order, because it's like all this stuff is going through. Technically we're essential workers, but we were used as, part-time staff in a sense. That's how I took it.
Yeah.
We were used in that sense. Like, we weren't used to our capability at the moment.
Right.
Per se.
Right.
So it's like, I think that word there would be like, do I really want to be doing this? Is this something, do I want to continue in the next 10 years if something else happens? Or do I want to have something else on my notch on my belt to kind of help me in the back end or whatever?
Absolutely. I think that was 100% it. That was like just that little push that, to get it going.
Right.
That little fire, to get you started.
Exactly.
For
exactly.
Sure.
And I think right now, like, so I guess at this point now, as you graduated, you said, I know we kind of talked prior to, but job wise, everything's already lined up, everything's situated for you moving forward.
Yeah.
That's good.
So thankfully, once I passed the boards and I knew that all I would have to do is wait for my license and graduate and all that, I decided to start looking for jobs.
Yeah.
And thankfully I do have one.
Good.
I do have one, and I'm excited to get started. I'll probably start sometime towards the end of July.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely ready to, open up that door. It's kind of different when you're a dental assistant. You are helping the health provider, right? Then when you're a hygienist, you are actually a health provider. So you're providing this work for your patients. So it's going to be definitely a different type of intimacy with my patients.
Yep.
In the sense that I'll be taking care of their overall oral health. And I'm definitely excited about that.
That's going to be a good change. I feel like that may be a little, I not flashback sometimes when you see the dental assistants going through their like process and stuff for like, it's like this, we're going to do it this way. Just help them out with that. I think that'd be good. And I think what's going to help right now is also learning the provider too right now.
Yeah.
That may be a challenge as well too.
Yeah.
Because you never know. Some providers can be a little aggressive. Some providers can be a little too nice sometimes. I'm like, okay, let me be the muscle to step in and
absolutely
relax, patient, relax. We ain't going to do that extraction today. We're going to, take that out later. You know what I mean?
We're gonna figure it out. We'll take it easy on you. We're gonna,
right.
slow the transition for you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's gonna be good. I think any thought process going into social media, doing your own little regime and process or whatever into it.
So I see that a lot of people do that, and I
Yeah.
think that's amazing. Kudos to everybody that's out there in social media representing the dental hygiene community. Completely respect y'all. I mean, it's a possibility. I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it's possible. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm a little bit of a recluse when it comes to social media. I tend to kind of stay away from it in a sense.
You're not one of those TikToker like late night type of persons or whatever, going through the whole thing, and then all of a sudden you get that person talk about, hey, you've been on this for too long. You think it's time to rest or whatever?
Thankfully, no, I haven't.
No, that's good.
Are you?
No, I am because it sucks. I'm not gonna lie, I am a little bit. I know I shouldn't and stuff, but I think I do it also too to kind of look at, what's the new trend or whatever case would be, right? Like, what is it that, maybe I would like to implement on my, social media stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know I'm not going to be one of those guys that like Logans and do goofy tricks or whatever case it be. I'm not, but I don't mind doing like a all you can eat pizza contest. Or
absolutely.
Stuff like that.
Oh man. When you do that, hit me up. I'll be here for that.
I mean, you guys already see me with the flautas and stuff like that.
Oh, bro, I still have that picture. Don't make me bring that picture up here because I still have that picture.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, it was we had, what was it? It was after COVID? No, it was before.
It was before
COVID, right?
Pre-COVID. Because
we were in Waukegan at the time. We're all working together.
Yeah.
So it was pre-COVID. We went to Gonzalez. Went to have some flautas. I had 2 dozen by myself.
2 dozen, y'all.
While you guys.
I was like, where do you pack that?
I don't.
My God.
It burned through,
yeah. I mean, you were young.
I was going to the gym a little bit too. That was my start.
Yeah.
That was the start of me with the workout process.
Bulk season.
And then I was like, okay, we got to get this done. And this helps me out a little bit too, because I'm good eating for the next 2 days. I think I'm fine, right?
Yeah.
So, and it was, I mean, come on, plus the flautas, plus the dip was like, the dip is, vegetables. So it's going to be.
Absolutely. You're getting your nutrients in. You're getting a little bit of carbs, a little bit of protein with the meat.
Scarfing out a bottle of Coke. You know what I mean? That was
because you gotta balance it out.
Yeah, I gotta get a little bit of this. Gotta get some of that. But that was fun. That's fun. Good times. Now, I would say I think the next thing also too with college, like what would be besides the process and stuff, what else would be the key experience that you would want to share for the people, I guess, the kids, like what to look forward to? Like, is it good to be talking to other students? Is it good to kind of, I'm doing my thing, don't worry about you guys?
Absolutely. I think it varies. It varies for everybody. I've met plenty of people that I was with in the program. Shout out to the dental hygiene program.
Yeah.
There were plenty of people that function better when they would work by themselves.
Yeah.
I knew a few of them that they were just like strictly just in it to win it. They weren't there to make friends. They were just there to get it done. And I have mad respect for that. They accomplished their goal. But then I had plenty of people, myself included, I needed a little bit of like a group.
Right.
I needed some people.
Camaraderie.
Yeah,
deal, right?
I needed big time camaraderie. Somebody that I could like look at and be like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Just give me a clarity of what he was telling us what to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I felt like I needed that. And I had my set group of people too.
Yeah.
That I got along with really well, but look forward to the experiences.
Yeah.
Look forward to the experiences. And if you end up not going for what you thought you wanted to begin with, that's okay. It's okay to make that change. And it's never too late to go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
You are never too old to go back to school.
Correct.
At all.
Yep.
So definitely enjoy the experiences as they come. They're not always going to be positive.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to struggle sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But again, going back to having that support, even if it's one person that has your back, one person that believes in you, one person to cheer you on.
Yeah.
Honestly, you're winning already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? obviously you want to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And you should believe in yourself and believe you could get these things done.
Right.
But yeah, having support is, I think, top notch.
Yeah, I think knowing that part, like just me knowing you're a positive person, easy to talk to in a sense, at this point, and being able to relate to the person, even though you have no type of similarities whatsoever.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is you find the common ground to have that conversation across. So it's like, which is good. I mean, and also too, that's also why, like I said before, we ever had a dental office, I think the key people in our dental office, like really would be a phenomenal crew, would be you, would be Ange, would be myself.
Shout out Angie.
That's right.
Shout out
Sandy for sure.
Yes.
Oh my God, being the front desk person, and then I'm gonna be on the side. I'm the goofy guy on the side.
Absolutely. So we gotta get Illinois to let dental hygienists run their own dental
clinics, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
That'll be awesome. I think that would be a good set in stone, because you do the same thing when it comes to the whole provider process. It's just they just have that extra.
They do a lot too, though. I won't knock them. Yeah, I mean, yes, we do the preventative aspect of it. Right. We're there to try to prevent bad things from happening, diseases from happening in your mouth, right? But I give it to the dentists out there, the dental providers too, because I mean, who's going to be there to pull your tooth when it hurts? Who's going to be there to fill a cavity when it gets huge? You know what I mean?
Facts.
So just as much as we're important, they're important too. I think now more so, dental hygienists are being recognized as health providers a lot of the times, from what I've heard, because I'm obviously not out in the field yet, but from dental hygienists that I've heard myself, they've worked in places where they haven't been valued. You know what I mean? So hopefully there's a change in that in the next coming years. And I mean, we have to be the ones to vocalize that.
And be a person that has to be the person themselves wanting to do that.
I agree.
Because you have to have the energy to kind of make your voice heard at that point, right?
Yes.
And to kind of show that this is who I am. I'm able to kind of, be part of that. I'm part of the camaraderie here too.
Absolutely. Assert yourself. Be confident in yourself. Be confident in your skills.
Yeah.
That's absolutely important.
Now, do you want to get into the whole, let's get into a small clinic type of deal, or do you want to go private and go out world and stuff like that?
I think I want to do
you haven't thought about
that
yet?
No, actually I have. I think I want to do it all. I mean, I think in the beginning, when I was first in the program, I'm like, I think I'm just going to temp.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a temp dental hygienist in different offices, check out different flows, see how it goes. Now with the job that I have, I'm hoping to work there for about a year.
Yeah.
Get my, my skill up, hone my skills really well,
right.
Get my patient flow going. I mean, because it's all different. When you're in the program, you have about 3 to 4 hours to work on a patient, patient, right? They got to be sitting there with them.
And you also they have to have the anxiety to be in the chair at that point, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, sometimes it can be a little too much. The fear for dental care is real.
Yeah.
People are afraid to go to the dentist. People are afraid to get there. You're vulnerable.
Yeah.
True. It's your mouth. And if you're in pain, you don't want anybody to touch that. You don't want anybody to be up in there. So for real,
up in that mouth. Be like, hey man, just FYI, your breath stank. Right now today, we're gonna fix it up real nice. You're gonna come out here smelling good this time, like minty fresh.
Pine Sol. Oh wait, no, not Pine. Not Pine Sol. Minty fresh.
Don't do that, because now you're gonna have people be like, hey man, what is that? That's a Pine Sol?
Oh, yeah.
That smells a little
That's
lemony.
Gonna be a trend. That's gonna be a trend. Rinse the Pine Sol for 30 seconds. Absolutely, disclaimer: do not do that.
Don't do that. Yeah, exactly.
Please do not. Just use mouthwash indicated for your mouth.
Yes.
Please.
Even if it's generic, okay, use that instead.
Absolutely, yes. It doesn't matter.
I threw off track a little bit. I tell just with that little, like, eat your best steak, right? Like, no.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. No, but so that's what I wanted to do. Start temping. But now that I'm going to be at this office again, like I said, just kind of work on my skill there, and then move on from there. Like, just kind of see what else is out there. The office where I'll be working at, they have dental hygienists that have been there for 9 years. They have been there for 19 years. So obviously it's a good office, and it shows.
There you go.
If somebody's willing to stay there long enough. Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Either that too, the business side of things as well. Like, obviously business wise, you've been able to keep up with your books and make sure you're all set to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, maybe do that, maybe get a part-time somewhere else. The hard thing with dental hygiene is finding a full-time job with benefits. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
It's not impossible, but I do know that there, has been a few struggles with a few hygienists that I know to find that full-time job that they need that have the benefits with it. And thankfully, with the job that we used to have, well, the job that I used to have with you, I had all of that.
Yeah, exactly. So once you reach that mark, you're like, all right, we're set, we're good.
Absolutely. So now it's just kind of figuring it out, and I'm excited for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, exactly. I think now speaking on that too, because I know they offered that whole. What I was admiring was the whole investment part of things, right? The county itself offered all that extra stuff.
Absolutely.
I'm like, it was actually cool to see you go through that process to kind of understand what it is and be able to make the money work for yourself more than you work for the money in that part.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
That's good.
That was great. Yeah. Thankfully, the place where we work, they were great about paying for my classes.
Yeah.
So I got that money. It's a tuition reimbursement.
Right.
So I got that as long as you're getting the grades,
Correct.
right? And then thankfully, by the time that I left to join the program, I was already vested in my pension. So I'm getting a pension from that place, which is great.
Yep.
I tried my best to play my cards right as well as I could.
Right.
So if you guys are working in a place that offers tuition reimbursement and you're thinking about going back to school, do your homework. Do your homework on that.
Even though it seems stressful, I think especially for companies like that, make it, they say it sounds easy, but to go through the process, it's like all this extra paperwork. I go through this and that. It's like, nah, I'm done. I don't want to try anymore.
I think that's what stops a lot of people,
right?
Is going through the process. But I mean, they're also there to help you. That's why there's human resources. You know what I mean? Reach out to the people that can help you with that to get it done. But if you really, truly want to get these things done, you will. You just got to set your mind to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, to change a little bit here, when it comes to like you being being the person who you are, who I know, outgoing, be easy to talk to, can find a common ground with anybody. Any life experiences kind of play into all that a little bit of kind of developing you as the person itself, or do you feel like you molded yourself in that way?
I feel like, honestly, I grew up in Chicago, right? I feel like I grew up in a very diverse community.
Yeah.
I got to know all types of people from all types of backgrounds.
Yeah.
Religious, race, gender, like all different types of backgrounds, right?
Yep.
And I think since I was a kid, my parents would always be like, be respectful, towards people, be respectful. Always try to make sure, try your best to get along with people, and that's what you do. But I feel like that played a big role in it. I feel like getting a job young played a big role because I started working since I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
So I feel like all of that played a big part in me just trying my best to be, I don't want to say a people person, you know what I mean? But I definitely, like you said, try to have empathy for people, have a common ground with people. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm no one to judge anybody.
Yeah.
I
think that's always been a good aspect of why me and you, we click pretty good when it comes to that. And being able to, when working together, have conversations and stuff when we're outside of, work or whatever, let's, hey, I need some advice type of deal. Right?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like being able to kind of, that friendship created what was from that, because it's like never felt any judgment in that way. Like what the hell I'm going through. I'm doing some stupid stuff, there's me. But, at least it's never in the sense of like any judgment. It's, if you go this way, this is what's going to happen. But if you go that way, this is going to happen. Regardless, you make your decisions.
Absolutely. And I think the same for you. I feel like we grew a lot with each other.
Yeah.
We were working together for a long time. So
yeah, I tease you a lot too. Yeah.
Well, likewise. Don't make me bring Perla up in here.
Yeah, I know, right? Man, I got you bring it up, I swear to God, I gotta catch that girl. Like, good thing we family, because otherwise, I don't know how I'll be joking with a big woman like that, man. Just gonna sit there, make fun of her. I know she'll sit on me and she'll shut me up.
What? Yeah, Perla, if you're watching this, come on out.
Yeah, come with it, man.
Come on out, girl, cause your cousin talking some stuff.
And it was funny too. I did the ancestry thing. I don't know if you ever tried that.
I have not.
No.
But
you should. I would advise, try it out. Just if you got some questions about your pops, your moms, are they really yours or not, or whatever.
Actually, it's not that.
That was mine. That was my worry. Okay, because I'm not gonna lie. At the time or in life, everyone was sitting there saying like, hey, you could be someone else's dad. I mean, someone else's
could be
son,
your dad.
right?
Okay.
Someone else could be your dad, type of deal. And I'm like, shit, you might be right. I don't know, man. He got the same, receding hairline like mine.
My
God. I don't know, man. I'm confused here. And knowing my mama, Oh my God, my mom. What she do? She set me up, knowing our siblings. Oh my God, everyone has different dads. Oh, I could be someone else, right?
Right.
So that was what that always held me back. But then I'm like, you know what? I gotta get the encouragement. So
yeah,
I did the test, tried it out. It was fun. It was good to see the difference or whatever European perception kind of came around with the whole
and
stuff.
how'd it go?
It's good.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I'm definitely more Mexican than I am with everything else. So that's like, yes.
Okay.
I'm officially more, you know, I do got some, what is it, like 20-some% Spaniard in me, obviously.
I can see that.
You know.
I could see that.
In there. And then my father's my real father. So, cha-ching. Good. Thanks, Pops. Love you, man.
You can breathe easy now.
Exactly. I could. I go lie. As soon as I got the results, I was like, Dad, you're my real dad.
You was over there sweating.
Hey, I was. I was like, man, I was so glad you're my real dad, man. And this is like, what's it called? I told my cousins, like, hey, we actually cousins. We for real cousins.
We're legit cousins.
No more guessing, everybody. It's
oh
good.
my God.
I don't hear no more jokes at the Christmas parties. I don't hear none of that stuff. We real cousins now.
You said I got the paperwork.
Exactly. Exactly. And I got right on my phone. Look,
right.
Real. But there's that. And then we had the second cousins and stuff. And I saw Perla's name coming up. I was like, yeah. Now what? I was like, yeah, started back to her. She's like, shit. I was like, I know too. I said it. I was like, whatever. It's been fun. It was a good experience, like to see other stuff. And I'm like, what, 2% Jew? Like,
are you serious?
Yeah, 2% Jewish.
Okay.
What else? There's some other like in different states or whatever in Africa. So it's like 6%.
You got a little bit of African.
I am. So I'm part black. I was like, yeah, I got some black in me. So I told my brothers and my sisters, I was like, hey man, I can say the N-word. No, I can't say that with you guys too much. So I'm like, no, we black for sure. We got a black family.
Absolutely.
What's up? But I'm like, it was good. So try it out.
I've been considering it.
But yeah.
I've only considered it simply for the fact because a lot of people on my mom's side of the family have said that my grandfather's great grandfather or my father's, oh my God, my mom's dad's great grandfather, I think.
So it's your third great grandpa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Chinese.
Oh, really?
It's Chinese. Yeah. You know what? And a lot of people say that, even in my brother.
We kind of said that last time. Like, we're like, you been a little Filipino when we first met or whatever. That's what I thought, at least.
Yeah.
Right?
So that would be the only reason why I would really want to check it.
Got it.
Just to see. So if I do, I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah.
But I've also been a little curious.
just to see for sure. What's the other percentage of stuff I got in me type of deal?
Right. Because I mean, they've been saying it for so many years, and I'm just like, is it real though?
Yeah.
Because family can say whatever they want.
And like, we don't know our past.
We don't.
I think that was the coolest thing to kind of understand, because it's like you get to kind of see where our past was. Right? A little bit. And maybe you get connections from something of history. Yeah. And that's another thing too. And then what's cool with Ancestry is that they show any of those who are actually related, you can see their records also too, like maybe their pictures or if they come on the boat and what was their signature type of deal into the States. So I was like, man, I saw a lot of stuff, a lot of cool things on there.
Could you get deeper into it?
You could if you want to. And literally, I'm not going to lie. That first night that I got the results, I was invested into that whole app. And I'm like,
I was Googling everything.
I was creating my own tree. I was trying to make connect the dots and stuff like that. And I'm texting my cousins on the side, like, hey, man, I know you're California. You still awake, man. What's our grandpa's? Oh, yeah. Okay, good. But it was a whole process. I think it was a good week's worth of deep diving at that point, and I'm like, all right, let me just chill. So at least I know.
Yes.
At least I know what I know. I think that was.
You knew the most important part.
That was a big key.
What you were searching for.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's a big key when people have questions about their past and not knowing if it is or having that part. I think the other thing why I wanted to do it, I don't know if I ever mentioned it to you, but my sister is my younger sister. That's between my younger brother. We gave away for adoption. My mom did.
Okay.
So since she was, I was maybe 4 years old when she was born, and then my mama gave to her to Catholic Charities and whatever case to be. And we don't know of her. I do got a few pictures of her when she was a baby. I think they sent the adoptees sent over pics of her when she was a little baby still. They're probably like maybe 1 or 2. Haven't seen any information since then. So that's another reason why I wanted to try Ancestry, because if they show any connections, then they bing us, right?
Absolutely, yes.
So I want to put my stuff in the system, so in case that happens, then all of a sudden, ding, sister. Yeah. And I'm like, man, that would be like, I was really more nervous on that end than the whole thing with my dad.
Okay.
That was really my nervousness.
Something like you were thinking about in the back of your head.
Because it'd be a big journey over the process and to get that process out there. And if it actually worked, then I'm like, do I want to bring her in?
Yeah. Do you want to reach out type thing? And
what my life has been, do I want to go through that process?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And you'll cross that road when you get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think at this point right now, I'm like, God says, not right now. Not yet.
Yeah.
Just chill. You'll be good.
Absolutely. But I mean, there's always that possibility, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. Now, I know you mentioned you're married. So
I
your
am
wife,
married.
You're
Yes.
married wife.
Yes.
Now, I didn't know you. Well, I known you when you were dating the other gender for a good while.
Yes.
Then you went and dated, you got your wife and stuff like that. That how was that process?
I think
because where'd you guys first meet? If I remember, it was a club. It was a club.
We met at the club.
She put in the work. She was all like, "Hey, man, you look pretty good. Yeah, man. Let me get your number, get your digits right here.
Actually,
my Palm Pilot. You got." I know she got Palm Pilot. She didn't have no flip. She didn't have anything else. She got the Palm Pilot instead. She's like, "Come on with it." She's looking
pen
around.
Pen and paper.
Pen and paper. Okay, all right.
Nah. No. But so, like you mentioned, yes, when you first met me, I was dating a guy.
An asshole. I'm gonna say it. I'll say it for you because he was a dickhead. And then, I'm not gonna lie. We all said the same. I think when we were having conversations on how we all vented, I'm like, this dude's a dickhead. Dude needs to go. He needs to get up out of here. He was a stalker too. Was a stalker.
Yeah. He did his thing.
Stupid stuff. I'm gonna walk B out to the car real quick. Yeah. That was, man, I'll tell you, I was lucky.
Absolutely.
But anyways, yes.
But yes. So that was like when we first met. But just to clear the air, I've always been open to either gender.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Right.
Like for me, it doesn't matter the individual. What I care about is the person, how they are. That's what I care about.
Right.
Their personality. I've always been that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But so then that's what happened. I was dating this person for a long time, and then I was single for a little bit, and I think God had decided, hey, I need to set you on the right course. We're gonna put you on the right course, baby, because you drifting a little. You straying away. So thankfully, I do have my wife, and things have been great since then.
How was the first interaction? I think you would say. How did that go? Who made the first move?
Am I allowed to say
that?
Well. am I allowed to say that? I don't know. So first move in what sense?
Okay.
What sense? I'm asking.
Oh, what in what sense?
In what sense?
In sense of like who did the first holler? Who like, hey, you look good. Let me get your name.
You know what's crazy?
Who made that first move?
Okay, so
or was it
technically didn't even start off like that?
Oh, so y'all on the opposite sides of the club. Y'all see eye to eye. We're like, meet me in the middle. Let's have a dance off.
No,
no, okay.
Not even. No, I wish it was like that eventful, but no.
Because to see your partner be sitting there dancing on the dance floor, that'd be a good sight to see. I'll be like, that'd be pretty funny.
Not to toot my partner's horn, but she could dance.
We gotta go to the club, man. Damn, I knew we gotta go to the club to see this stuff.
We do.
Okay, sounds good.
You, me, Chloe, and her, we need to go.
Yeah, for sure.
To have a good time. But no, we actually started off as friends. Yes, we met at the club, but we just met as friends.
Okay.
And she did ask me for my number. Yeah.
First.
She asked me first.
You play hard to get?
In
the beginning?
I don't. You know what? I don't think I did. You think
I'm not gonna lie. Know who you are. I don't think you play hard to get type of deal.
Yeah.
I would say is the interaction it went good in a sense, right?
It did.
And I think what's it called? Afterwards was like, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna do this, do that. That's just me knowing who the type of person you are. More so than saying, I'm pretty busy today. I don't think we can hang out tonight, whatever case.
Absolutely. No. You know what? I think the thing that I love the most about it is that it was not, we didn't go into it with the intent of, being with each other. It was more so like, okay, we're friends. Right. And then it sparked into something else, and I feel like that for me is the best type of love when you don't go looking for it. It just comes your way.
It comes your way.
You know what I mean?
It just shows up right there.
And I'm very fortunate for that.
Yeah.
Because I know that not a lot of people in this world are blessed enough to have something like that.
Facts.
To have a relationship that lasts. Like you and Chloe, I look up to y'all too, because you know?
It's a struggle.
Absolutely. Every relationship is a struggle.
20 years that woman has been in my life, and
that's lovely though.
And I think that's the crazy thing too, is never getting tired of each other.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I think that's the fun part, when you find that one person that you don't get tired of, and even if it's just because you left your socks there and you weren't supposed to do that, but then I got to tell you to pick it up type of deal in the room, it's still like, I want to lay next to you.
Absolutely.
Let's just chill.
Absolutely, yes. That's your person.
What's your keys? What's been the key to kind of keep you guys, fresh? I guess you would say. What do you think?
The key to keep us fresh. I mean, I don't ever think there's really a dull moment. Be comfortable with the silence, because I feel like that's hard for some people sometimes.
A lot.
Yeah,
they're like, kicks in.
Yeah, it's
people,
like, why are you being quiet? Why are we being quiet? What's happening right now?
You doing something?
Absolutely. And I won't lie, sometimes if we are quiet, I'm like, you good?
Yeah.
She'll tell me she's good. Okay, we're good.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So being comfortable with the silences that happen sometimes, just knowing, even if you're sitting on the couch, you're right next to them, both of y'all are on your phones for a little bit or whatever, you know what I mean?
Facts.
Just having that comfort of being by each other, trying your best to, communicate with each other, I think is big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's always a work in progress.
Right.
Like, it's never going to be perfect.
Correct.
So when people are outside looking in and are like, oh my God, their relationship is so perfect, it's like, everybody has their struggles.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But it's like, are you willing to stick it out with this person?
Yeah.
Are you willing to do that?
Right.
I think that's the big part. Yeah, put in the work. And I think that you have to have a relationship where both people are willing to put in the work, because eventually, if that's not the case, it won't work. You know,
I would have to, say, in the beginning I know it was a challenge for you, because if I'm not mistaken, telling everyone else, like, hey, I got a partner.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that right there was a challenge. But I know for a fact, like, look, if this person is treating you right, if this is going good for you, then who fucking cares? Absolutely. It doesn't matter. You know, at this point, this person is giving you, I guess in my mind was also too, I remember saying it, like, the other person was giving you trash, right?
Absolutely.
Treating you like it wasn't the right relationship.
Right.
You were coming to work frustrated. You were just not happy.
It was affecting my overall life.
You weren't even happy to leave work sometimes, because it's like, I don't want to even go deal with all this bullshit. Right?
Absolutely.
And then once your partner came in the picture, it was like, I don't know if I can say the full name. I don't know if I can say the name. Can I say the name? I'm a cool. Art. Well, no. I mean yours, not the gentleman.
No, Art.
Art. Yeah. Oh, really?
That's like initials.
Very good. Okay. Right? All right. I like that one. I like that. Okay.
Mine's are bad.
Nice. So, Art, like, once that relationship went through, was like, okay, this is good. Art was treating you right. Like, even if it was just the dating aspect of things, it was just like going through the process. Like, Art's treating me good. We're gonna go do this. We're gonna go do that. The vibe was different coming from you. Absolutely. You're energetic coming to work. I don't know why.
Keep it PG.
Keep PG, right? Well, what's it called? Like energetic to do more things, and being able to, even talk to, because there's a lot of times when you would come to work, you'd be nice and quiet in your room, not saying too much.
Right.
Prior. But then all of a sudden it's a whole different vibe. You coming out, you chatting, being you and stuff like that was good too, no?
I agree with that. And thank you for telling me that, because I feel like when you are in that type of relationship, you don't realize how much you distance yourself,
or don't want to hear it too.
Absolutely, that too, because you get stubborn sometimes. But you guys are the ones outside looking in. Yes, I'm the one in the relationship, so maybe I don't see what y'all see.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So the fact that you're telling me that, I'm glad that you could see the change in being in a toxic relationship, being in a toxic relationship versus me being in a healthier one.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So, a lot of people don't do that. I think that's always been the struggle with relationships.
It's tough.
And it's still going to be the struggle forever. Because there's going to be a person in the mental mind is like, but this person loves me. This person, it's not who they are, and it's not really them. So let's, you're going to find any type of excuse to stay in it.
Absolutely.
And make it work, knowing that this isn't healthy for me. And then this other person's treatment, not saying like in the process, like in the relationship itself, but once you leave it and then find someone else who's doing the opposite things, making things better, making you smile, giving you butterflies is always an effect, but at least just being able to like smile when you're having a conversation with somebody.
Absolutely. And that makes a big difference. When you're stuck in a toxic relationship, sometimes you don't know your way out. Sometimes you don't even think that you have a way out.
Right.
And that's even worse.
Yeah.
That's like, I feel like it's more sad.
Yeah.
You know, when people feel like they can't leave,
Mm-hmm.
like this is all
and then
they're
you find
gonna
a
be.
reason.
Yeah, for whatever reason that it may be. But just know that you fell in love once.
Yeah.
You can fall in love again.
Right.
And yes, it's difficult
Mm-hmm.
to get out of something like that, especially when you're used to somebody. But do yourself that favor.
Yeah.
Do yourself that favor. Step back, step away. Love yourself
Right.
enough to do that for yourself.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Because
Exactly.
it is tough. It is tough to be the one to have to walk away knowing that, you know, both of you, and I'm not putting it blame on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think both of us in the past were doing a lot of growing, and we both became toxic to each other.
Yeah.
We both became people that shouldn't be together.
Yeah.
And I thankfully was strong enough to walk away from that for the both of us.
Yeah.
And wherever this individual is, may God bless you, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I could say to that.
Now, how was the beginning process of your partner? The introducing your partner to the rest of your life moving forward.
So I feel like that was different. You know, it was different. And like you said, it presented a challenge. And I think it's only because that aspect of my life, I kept it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've known since I was a young kid that gender didn't matter to me, right? I've known that for a long time. Yeah. And then as I became older, I decided to explore that on my own.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm the type of person that unless I'm sure about something, I won't say something.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to keep my business to myself.
Right.
I like to be private about things. But when I knew that it was a for sure thing with art, I was ready to shout it out the rooftops.
Yeah.
You know, I was ready to tell anybody and everybody. And I wish somebody would come at me and try to speak ill of me and her relationship.
I said the first from day one, I said, hey man, art better be treating you right. You better be making nice to you. You better respect you. You better hug you when you're crying. Give you tissues, all that good stuff, man. If not, me and Art got a problem today. But it was like, no, it's pretty good.
But thankfully it all worked out.
And exactly.
And Big Dog Tony didn't have to come out.
You know, I might have got beat up. I don't care, man. I'll get beat up. It don't matter to me.
Like, I'll get it done.
It's gonna happen. But yeah.
Absolutely. Right. But no, it was a challenge. You know, I feel like a lot of my family members, thank you for the ones that did accept it. Thank you to the ones that were just like very welcoming about it. I appreciate that so much. Because I feel like when you're coming out to your family, that can be one of the hardest things. You know, we know that a lot of people don't come out. A lot of people don't come out. A lot of people stay closeted the rest of their lives. A lot of people are afraid of that.
There you go.
You know?
Right.
And, you know, sometimes even people lose their lives. People get hurt because of it. Yeah. You know, because of how other people perceive them or how people judge them.
Right.
But, you know, it's really tough. And my family has come around now, you know, my immediate family. But I really thank my brother.
Yeah.
Because
little man's always been funny, goofy kind of guy, right? So that's why I'm like, that's good.
Yeah. But I'm just very grateful to him because he's one of the first people that I shared this with. And from the get, more than willing to just, it is what it is. Right. That's great. Like you found somebody, as long as they treat you well.
Exactly.
As long as they treat you well, that's all he cared about. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So, and a lot of my family members were that way. I feel like the toughest people were the older generation.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my parents. I feel like they had this whole different idea of how they thought that my life was going to go.
Their daughter.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They're like thinking, oh, she's going to marry a man. She's going to have kids. And I'm in the back of my head, even as a young kid, thinking, I don't ever want to get married. I don't ever want to have kids. You know, even in the relationship that I was in for a very long time, I wasn't even considering marriage at all whatsoever. You know what I mean? So I think it takes the right type of person to come into your life to even see a future with. And that's what I saw with Art.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I feel like I expected it from the majority of my family because, especially like I said, the older generation.
Right.
And not really like a face. I feel like my family is very quiet with their judgment. You can see it in their eyes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They don't have to make like an obvious expression, but you can tell that they're uncomfortable with what you just told them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the way that I try to think of it is this is something new to them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I try my best to also think like I'm not going home to them at the end of the night.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And there's no reason to be disrespectful, but I was always guarded.
Yeah.
I was always guarded. I was always ready to hear an insult or to hear somebody talk down to me. I was always ready to be defensive, to have to defend myself, to have to defend my partner. You know what I mean?
Right.
But thankfully, it never came to that. Like, yes, you get the awkward looks.
Yeah.
You get people that will probably talk behind your back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Yeah, they give you that little stank eye, but it's just like.
but my only thing would be is like I better not hear anybody say that.
I wish they would. I wish
they
would.
Thank you. I'll be like, man, don't mess with Art, man. Hold up. That's my dude right there. Don't say nothing about him like that. It's my dude. Don't be disrespectful. Hold up.
Absolutely
like
no.
That.
And I love that I had family behind me.
Yeah.
Like if that were to happen,
that's good.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or even like with my cousin's parents, you know, that had questions. I had a lot of cousins that were willing to either back me up or kind of just explain the situation. I remember, I think, a situation where one of my aunts was like, oh, well, you know, maybe it's just a phase. Maybe, you know, she had a bad relationship with this guy, so she thinks that maybe girls are going to be better. And that's not it. I need to say that out loud right now.
Good.
That's not it.
Because that's always the older generation's type of perspective.
Oh, it's just a phase.
That conversation, like that's their
they're
sentence.
Experimenting.
Exactly.
It's a phase, but absolutely, it is not a phase. This is something that I've known, like I said, since I was very, very young.
Right.
So it's definitely not a phase. Yeah, I mean, I know myself, and I was testing it out as well, to see if it would work.
Yeah.
Because this is actually my official first relationship with somebody of the same sex.
Right.
So, you know, either it'll work or it won't. You know what I mean? And thankfully it worked.
That's right.
Yeah.
That means I put into work, man. Did a good job.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm here to stay.
Absolutely.
Like, you my one. I'm here to stay. I'll pick you up. Not about rubbing your feet. But we're going to be partners, man. We're going to be relaxed.
Absolutely.
We're gonna be chilling.
Absolutely.
You know,
and I can attest to that. Like throughout the whole program, throughout everything, like since we've been together, has always had my back, has always been my hype person, has always, you know, been there cheering for me, believing in me. And same goes for Art.
Yeah.
You know, I believe in her. I believe in her talents. I know that she's going to achieve a lot, you know, and we help each other that way.
And that's all the relationship can even ask for. That right there starts off with, and the building blocks to keep a good relationship grounded and sustain a long-lasting relationship.
Absolutely. And you know.
Hell yeah.
You know.
That's what's up.
Absolutely.
That's good. And I think that's what I have to say to both of you guys. You know, you guys, they would know for a fact that beginning may have been a struggle to kind of express with everybody just because of who you are, and everyone wasn't comfortable. Not saying comfortable, but no, everyone had a different vision of you, right? And then once that change came about, and then now expressing it to the world was like, look, they got each other. They're like this, so they got what's going on. Whatever challenges come through, they're gonna handle it, move forward, and they're just gonna be together by each other's side, plain and simple. And if it doesn't work, it is what it is. But at least what you see is basically what you get, a good relationship, and that's all you can ask.
Absolutely.
That's good. And then y'all officially married, right?
Officially married.
What's up? How'd that go?
Since 2018,
nice,
baby.
Nice, very nice. That's good. That's good. Congratulations again. But,
thank you.
Would have loved to been, the flower guy. You know what I mean? It would have been nice.
You know what?
I would have loved to. I would have been like,
hold that thought, though.
Hey, yep. What's up, guys? I forget you or something. You know what I mean?
Hold that thought. Because look, when we first got married, it was something intimate. We went to the courthouse and we got married.
Yeah.
Thank you, State of Illinois,
that's it,
for being amazing and just being very inclusive. And thank you to everybody that paved the way.
Yeah.
All of my queer folk before me that thankfully were amazing and resilient and pushed through and made this happen for us. You know, shout out to them. But I'm just really happy that we're here now, you know, that we had the opportunity, that we got married, but it was something small and intimate. And I mean, we might celebrate a little 10-year anniversary marriage, and you might be,
that's right. I got dibs.
He called it. So my family can't get mad at me when Anthony's over here throwing flowers in their faces.
That's right. I got dibs. You tell me, you give me the name of the list of where they sitting at. I'm gonna grab that chuck of flowers. I'm gonna chuck it right in their forehead. Be like, wake up! It's a wedding. What's wrong with you? Let's go. How you doing?
You heard here first. All right, but I got you. You'll be the flower guy. You okay with that, Art?
Yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
As long as that, because we both have to be.
I won't disappoint you guys. It's gonna be I can't say entertaining because that means it's gonna be a type of deal, but it's gonna be a nice way.
It'll definitely be entertaining. With you around Anthony, it will definitely be entertaining.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw a little mix in there.
I kind of miss that. I kind of miss
DJ hit my beat, and I'll be up in there. A little bit. I might break a hit, but that's fine. No.
I mean,
it's a sacrifice I'm willing to take for you guys.
Now that you just said the whole break a hip thing real quick, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I read something. No. I saw a reel. It was a reel.
Oh.
And the reel, I read it on a reel. And it was saying how you're middle age at a certain point.
Yeah.
And do you know what middle age is?
No.
You know what the age is for middle age adult?
I hope it's probably go. I'm already past it or whatever. Kind of.
It's 36.
It's 36, right?
It's 36.
Damn, man, it's just downhill for me on some real
adult.
But guess what? That's exactly why I stick into the. That's why I stay with the process into the gym. Get the workout and go on the treadmill.
Yes.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. The stretching helps. You remember when I had a bad back, right?
That's what I'm going through right now.
See, pull that back. Going through the stretches in the mornings and at night, 10 minutes a piece, it helps a lot.
Absolutely.
Not gonna lie, it works wonders. And then I'm over here when I'm doing the stretches. It's gonna look kind of funny because my kids come walking in and they're like, "What's that stretch?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it." And I'm all on fours and I'm doing a little pee on the little thing or whatever. You know,
pass a little gas.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like the gas, it helps with the. Oh my God,
with the digestion.
Helps the gas come out. You know what I mean? First one. Mm-hmm. So it's a process for sure, but as long as you keep up with that type of thing, eating whatever, I'll eat whatever. I don't give a damn. But as long as the stretching, the workout kicks in with it, it's to keep the longevity.
Absolutely. I mean, this is our vessel. We're not going to get another one unless y'all know somebody that could hook it up with a different one. But I mean,
right? We gotta change a little bit. Let me get that Ryan Reynolds. Let me get that Ryan Reynolds.
For real.
Or let me get that Luke Evans. Let me get that Luke Evans one. Right? But
you get to select what type you want.
I mean,
that Jennifer Lopez. That Jennifer. that Megan Fox. Let me get that Megan Fox.
You know what? I'm gonna try on Jelly Roll real quick just to see what it feels like.
Just to see.
Look for a day and be like walking around and stuff. That'd be fine. That'd be cool.
Absolutely, but no, take care of your body.
Yeah.
Stretch.
Yeah.
My back is injured, and you don't heal the same when you get older.
You don't
heal as quick. Yeah, I'm just like, oh my God.
It takes
coming to the realization.
Maybe,
man.
And I always think about it too. Is like, is that because we're not as active and moving around like we were way back when? That could be the deal, which is probably why. That's what I'm saying. I stay in the gym and keep my body at least somewhat active. Because you look back when we were in high school, what do we have? PE like every day,
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
So at least do something like that, and then whatever you did afterwards, it still kind of kept something. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what I think. Maybe
it
Who
does.
Knows? Science always changes.
Yeah, it does. But try to get a little workout in here and there. It's hard to stay on routine. I mean, I don't know about you, but as long as I've known you, you've always been working out.
Yeah.
You've always been going to the gym. You know what I mean? And I get it. We fall off sometimes. Yeah. Consistency is key. And that's tough.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it is. Because there could be a week or two where I'm like, you know what? I'm tired. My body's just telling me to relax. It wants to lay in bed a couple more hours. And I'm gonna give it the body a couple hours in the bed and stuff like that. Just chill. And then at that too, I got other things I gotta do afterwards to keep me mobile. I gotta go I gotta get the kids fed. I gotta take them to school. The three of them want to go to karate class. The other one wants flag football. The other one wants to go to Six Flags. It's a process. So at least if it could give me a good just 3 hours of sleep, a couple of days, I'm fine.
3 hours, boy, is that all you sleep?
I'm not gonna lie. It's like 3 to 4.
Dude, you need
I know. I'm struggling.
Okay, I respect it though.
It's a struggle. That's what I'm saying. Like late night, it may not even be the phone thing. Like, cause I put it away.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel anxiety coming through my feet, and just like I can't get comfortable. I need to get up. My eyes won't shut down, so I need to go do something. So that's what I mean. I don't know if it's because of that. And then that's why it's like if I do look up something late at night like that, I try to do something educational. Just to kind of, clear my mind, something else, do something else. What's laws are probably stopping on by? What new stories? Maybe a docu-series or whatever.
Okay.
Stuff like that. Keep it educational more so than just enjoying a Marvel movie at late at night.
Absolutely. So you could oh my God, what's subliminally learn all of this, all of this knowledge.
I definitely don't put on no horror stories. Like if you remember the last freaking show where Chloe was like, she loves to put on that crime stories or whatever.
Absolutely. And I gotta attest to that because we watch crime.
It's good, but not to bed. Okay?
No, but we do that. It helps us fall asleep.
Okay. After you fall asleep,
yes.
Y'all wake up. See, that's probably why you're getting 3 hours, and that's probably why your back is messed up because y'all carrying all that heaviness from the stories and stuff.
Maybe.
You're making the trauma your trauma, so it's like I don't know.
It could be that. It could be that.
Right.
We probably have to lay off it a little bit.
A little
bit. But I mean, the stories are,
they're good.
They're good.
They're good. They're addictive.
Especially like how Chloe said, when it has a good ending.
Yes.
When there's justice.
Exactly.
That's when,
That's key.
yeah.
That's key.
the more enjoyable
right.
shows. Is the ones that are cold cases. Those are kind of hard.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of deal with, and also hard to accept what the outcome was.
Absolutely.
When you want something else.
Absolutely.
Like that. Anything before we leave? It's been quite a while, and I appreciate you staying with me. But anything you also want to say to the fans, or anything to like that, or anything to get off your chest right now? George, at least.
Just saying to the fans that believe in yourself, believe in yourself, believe in your worth. Love yourself, because that could be really, really tough.
Okay, and hard to do, but
very hard to do. Set goals for yourself. Don't ever get comfortable in life. Always try to achieve the best that you can for yourself. Right. There's so much that you could do out there. Like, you just don't know. You just have to go out there and get it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
And hopefully you'll have a support team or a support person.
At least.
Yeah. To like help you achieve those goals. Right. So just keep it moving, y'all.
Very good. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up, B. I appreciate you for coming on board, man. And this was a good show. It was fun for sure. I'm glad for you to come through, and I'm glad you were able to kind of take your time out of the day and do this with me for sure.
Absolutely,
great,
man. Anytime.
It's been great. Hell yeah. All right, y'all. Well, remember, stay tuned. Appreciate you guys stopping on by here on Chop It Up with Tony, man. Here podcast every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Tune in. Peace out.
Peace.